Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your game by subscribing to our channel so you never miss our daily content. For exclusive access to our premium betting picks, join our Patreon. Find the link in the comments section below. Stay ahead with High Stakes. San Francisco Giants versus Baltimore Orioles. Both teams have struggled lately, and the reason is they are not getting it done at the dish. The Giants were shut out in 3 straight losses before scoring 3 runs in a loss in their last game. The Orioles have totaled 9 runs in their last 4 games, with 4 coming in the 1 win in that span. Neither team will get much done at the plate in this game, with 2 solid starters facing off. Snell has only allowed 7 runs in his last 6 starts, and Suarez has not given up more than 2 runs in 6 of his last 7 starts. Both will pitch well in this game, but at home, the Orioles will get more clutch hits and get the win, sending the Giants to their 5th loss in a row. Take the Orioles to win. The total is set low for this game, and with good reason. Not only is there a good starting pitching matchup, but each team is struggling at the plate as of late. Yeah, leaning towards the under in this game. Snell has been pitching great, only giving up 7 runs in his last 6 starts. In Suarez's last 7 starts, he has given up more than 2 runs only once. Each starter will have another good outing on the hill, and runs will be at a premium in this series opener. So, because of that, the under is the way to go in Game 1. Take the under 7.5 runs. Atlanta Braves versus Cincinnati Reds. I have got the Reds winning this game at home over the Braves, and am taking them on the money line Tuesday night. The Reds come into this series hot, having won 5 of 8, and their bats came to life over the weekend, averaging 7 runs per game in a very impressive road series win against the Twins. The Braves lineup has been just so this season, and that may not be enough on the road against a good team. Reds starter Brandon Williams is absolutely on fire since returning to the rotation at the beginning of the month, and has not allowed more than 1 run yet this season. With Atlanta's starting pitching situation up in the air, there is certainly more variance, but the Reds should win this one at home. Take Reds money line. I am taking the under between these 2 teams on Tuesday night in Cincinnati. Both teams have ranked in the middle of the pack in runs scored this year, averaging 4.3 and 4.4 runs per game respectively. Both teams have just 1 hitter in their lineups who have consistently been great this year, in Marcell Ozuna and Elly De La Cruz. Brandon Williams on the mound for the Reds should limit the Braves, as he has allowed just 1 run in each of his 3 appearances this season. Good for an ERA of 2.08 and an amazing whip of 0.77, while averaging nearly 8 K per inning as well. While again no named starter for Atlanta complicates things, their pitching has been their strength this year, and they have a top-tier bullpen which should help minimize the scoring. My total pick is under. Los Angeles Dodgers versus Miami Marlins. Bobby Miller will take the hill for the Dodgers in the first game of this series. Last week, he allowed 6 runs over 4 1/3 innings in a no-decision against the Cubs. Miller gave up 2 runs in the first, walking 2 batters before giving up 2 hits. Seiya Suzuki would later take him deep for a solo homer in the 3rd. It marked Miller's 2nd consecutive start in which he allowed at least 6 runs, and he's now given up multiple home runs in 5 of his last 6 outings. He has been an outright disaster over 12 starts. He has posted an 8.17 ERA, 1.69 whip, and a 50/29 KBB ratio across 54 innings, and although the Marlins are one of the worst teams in baseball, I can't trust Miller anymore this season. My team pick is Miami Marlins moneyline. Offensively, the Dodgers have been a juggernaut this season. They hold the 2nd highest OPS in MLB. But they have given up their fair share of homers, especially Bobby Miller. Heading into the final game of their series with the Braves, they have given up 184 home runs, 5th most in the majors. They are 2 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies for the best record in the National League, and hold a 3.5 game lead over the San Diego Padres in the NL West. I expect this to be a high-scoring game, with both teams scoring at least 4 runs. My total pick is over. Minnesota Twins versus Cleveland Guardians. I cannot trust the rookie Matthews in this situation given his past few performances. Williams at least has had some quality starts mixed in with his subpar outings recently, so I'm more inclined to go with the Guardians. Cleveland has won 8 of their last 10 against the Twins, and they are 5-2 overall in their last 7. Minnesota is 3-6 in their last 9, and they have been less than profitable to bet on not only this past week, but throughout the season. Cleveland also has a major edge in their bullpen, ranking as one of the best in the MLB, while Minnesota is in the middle of the pack. If the game is close towards the later innings, I suspect the Guardians will take advantage and come away with the win. My team pick is Cleveland Guardians moneyline. Neither starter has been terrific as of late, but these games tend to lean towards the under. In their last 10 meetings, these two squads have gone 7-1 on the under, and the Guardians have gone 8-1 on the under in their last 10 by themselves. Cleveland has hit the under in the majority of their contests this season, and should Williams be disappointing in his outing, I suspect they will turn to their excellent bullpen quickly. This will limit the number of runs scored, and Cleveland has scored more than 2 runs only once in their past 4 games. My total pick is under 8.5 runs. Boston Red Sox versus Tampa Bay Rays. Both pitchers have made 2 starts during September, as Nick Pivetta is 0-0 with a 1.50 ERA and a .205 batting average against in 12.0 innings, while Shane Baz is 0-1 with a 2.38 ERA and a 0.79 WHIP in 11.1 innings during that stretch. Since the All-Star break, these teams have been on 2 completely different levels offensively, as the Red Sox are 5th in the majors with a .761 team OPS while scoring 4.87 runs per game, while the Rays are 28th in the sport with a .654 team OPS while averaging 3.59 runs per game. All in all, go with the Boston Red Sox to win this game to open the series. In the last 7 starts for both pitchers, they have been performing well, as Nick Pivetta is 1-2 with a 3.89 ERA and a 1.12 WHIP in 39.1 innings, while Shane Baz is 2-2 with a 3.10 ERA and a 1.08 WHIP in 40.2 innings during that stretch. These teams have not been able to score many runs in the previous 6 games, as Boston is averaging 3.67 runs per game while Tampa Bay is scoring 2.5 runs per game. Go with under 7.5 runs in this game as well. Washington Nationals versus New York Mets. Mitchell Parker is expected to start for the Nats. Parker struggled mightily in his only start against the New York Mets this season. He went 6 innings but allowed 5 earned runs. Parker allowed 3 home runs in the contest. New York has been good on offense this season. They are in the top 10 or around the top 10 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBI, walks, batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. As the Mets are fighting to make the playoffs, they will once again hit Parker well. New York will win this contest by 2 or more runs. Bet the run line, -1.5, and take the Mets. Take New York Mets -1.5 runs. New York has been good on offense this season. They are in the top 10 or around the top 10 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBI, walks, batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. Mitchell Parker is expected to start for the Nats. Parker struggled mightily in his only start against the New York Mets this season. He went 6 innings but allowed 5 earned runs. Parker allowed 3 home runs in the contest. New York will once again score a bunch of runs against Parker, and the over will hit in this contest. Take the over, 7.5 runs. Philadelphia Phillies versus Milwaukee Brewers. While Milwaukee came away with the victory in Game 1 of this series, it makes them 1-3 in games against Philadelphia this season, with the Phillies sweeping their previous series, outscoring the Brewers by a tally of 7-2. In games pitched by Zach Wheeler in this series, the Phillies are 1-1 in his past 2 starts, but with 7 innings of 1-run ball in his start earlier this season. Expect another big outing from the Cy Young candidate, as the Phillies even this series at 1 game apiece. My team pick is Philadelphia to win. In 4 meetings this season, the total runs scored between these 2 teams has been 17, And with the last outing from Wheeler tallying just 4 runs and the under sitting at 7-1 in their past 10 head-to-head meetings, look for more of the same in this one. For the Phillies, the under may be 3-6-1 in their past 10 overall games, but with the offense faltering to just 8 runs in their past 3 road games, they will need a big bounce back as a lineup in this one. As for the Brewers, the under is 6-3-1 in their last 10, with under 3 runs allowed per game in their last 5 at home, so expect for the veteran pitching matchup to dominate this battle. My total pick is under 7.5 runs. Oakland Athletics versus Chicago Cubs. Chicago has been good at home, as this is a good spot to take the Cubs ML against a reeling Athletics roster. Wicks has been much better at home, as he should be able to carve up Oakland's lineup, which has been poor this season. The Cubs are 38-33 at home this season, while as a home favorite are 24-22, while Oakland is 28-44 as a road underdog this season. Look for that trend to continue here. My team pick is Cubs moneyline. The under is a good spot in this game, as both Oakland and Chicago's offenses have struggled this season. Spence and Wicks are also solid pitchers who should be able to limit the base runners in this game. This season, Oakland is 77-70-3 in hitting the under, while Chicago is 73-70-6, while at home is 39-31-1 in hitting the under. Take the under in this matchup. Detroit Tigers versus Kansas City Royals. In their previous 7 starts, these pitchers are showing a bit of a difference, as Casey Mize is 1-2 with a 4.04 ERA and a 1.21 WHIP in 35.2 innings of work, while Cole Ragans is 3-2 with a 3.20 ERA and a 1.09 WHIP in 39.1 innings in that span. Throughout September, there is a massive gap between the team's ability to steal bases and move up 90 feet. The Tigers are tied for 16th with the Orioles, Red Sox, and Angels with 9 stolen bases, while the Royals are 7th in the sport with 15 steals in the month. Go with the Kansas City Royals to secure a win in this game as the better bet. These teams have been hitting extremely well throughout the season, with runners in scoring position heading into this game. The Tigers are 5th in the sport with a .806 team OPS with runners in scoring position, while the Royals are 3rd in Major League Baseball with a .809 team OPS in those at-bats. Throughout the last week of action, these teams are doing an incredible job of scoring runs, which is evident by the opening game of the series combining for 15 runs. Detroit is averaging 4.86 runs in their last 6 games, while Kansas City is scoring 5 runs in their previous 6 games. All in all, go with over 8 total runs in this game here. Pittsburgh Pirates versus St. Louis Cardinals. The Pirates have struggled on the road recently, losing 4 of their previous 5 series, including sweeps by the Dodgers in Los Angeles and the Padres in San Diego. They have lost over 52% of their games away from their home stadium. Pittsburgh has lost 3 of their previous 4 contests against the Cardinals at Busch Stadium, including dropping 2 of 3 earlier this season. Cardinals hurlers have recently excelled against the Pirates at home, producing a 3.19 ERA with a 1.22 WHIP in their prior 10 games. They limited their opponents to 3 runs or less in 4 of their previous 5 home games. St. Louis has lost only once in their prior 3 series in front of the home crowd. St. Louis has the edge offensively in this matchup, ranking 13th in batting average versus 23rd for this opponent. The stats and trends strongly support a St. Louis victory at home on Tuesday. Take the Cardinals with the money line. All 3 games between the Pirates and the Cardinals at Busch Stadium earlier this season went under the run total, with only 16 runners crossing the plate during the 3-game set. The Pirates have hit a lean .212 with a .327 slugging percentage on the road against the Cardinals in their prior 5 games. The Pittsburgh offense ranks in the bottom half of the league in several key categories, so the odds they score quickly in bunches are low. The Pirates' pitching staff has excelled while on the road in 2024, ranking 12th in the league in ERA with 4.01. The Cardinals have gone under the run total in 4 of their previous 5 contests. The Pirates have gone under in 3 of their last 4. Most signs point to a lower scoring affair in St. Louis on Tuesday. Take the under 8.5 runs. Toronto Blue Jays versus Texas Rangers. Both teams are not doing too well this season, but the Texas Rangers should have the advantage. When looking at the pitching road/home splits throughout the season, there is a bit of a difference here as Chris Bassitt is 3-6 with a 3.65 ERA and a 1.38 WHIP in 66.2 innings, 12 starts on the road, while Nathan Eovaldi is 7-3 with a 3.11 ERA and a .193 batting average against in 62.1 innings, 11 starts at Globe Life Field. With runners on base, these teams are hitting at different levels throughout the season. The Blue Jays are 15th in the sport with a .256 team batting average with runners on base right now, while the Rangers are currently 9th in Major League Baseball with a .261 team batting average in those situations. Go with the Texas Rangers to open up the series with a home win in this game here. When looking at the pitching stats in the previous 7 starts, both guys are giving up runs here as Chris Bassitt is 2-3 with a 4.73 ERA and a 1.30 WHIP in 40.0 innings, while Nathan Eovaldi is 3-4 with a 4.50 ERA and a 1.20 WHIP in 40.0 innings during that span. These teams have been able to score well in the last couple of weeks as the Blue Jays are averaging 4.36 runs in their last 11 games, while the Rangers are scoring 4.23 runs in their previous 13 games. Throughout September, these teams have been hitting well as Toronto is 9th with a .700 team OPS, while Texas is 17th in Major League Baseball with a .672 team OPS throughout September. All in all, go with the over as the better bet to make for this game. Arizona Diamondbacks versus Colorado Rockies. We don't know the starters yet, but there's a limited chance the Rockies come out on top in this one. Arizona has won their last 5 in a row and 8 of their last 10 against the Rockies, while winning 4 of their last 6 overall. Arizona has been one of the best teams to bet on this season, and Colorado has been not as great. The Diamondbacks have one of the best offenses in the game, scoring an average of over 5.5 runs per game, while the Rockies average only 4.20, even playing half their games in Coors Field. Interestingly, Arizona has won 3 of its last 5 games against the Rockies by only 1 run, which is why I'm taking the money line. If you feel like taking a bigger risk, then take the run line for the Diamondbacks, as it will probably be near even. My team pick is Arizona Diamondbacks moneyline. Arizona starter Jordan Montgomery went 5+ innings and only 1 start in his last 5 outings. Even in that start, he managed to give up 6 earned runs. Monday's game resulted in a low-scoring affair, but I expect that to change in this series. Arizona will want their revenge, especially after slipping another game in the wildcard standings. The Diamondbacks are 86-58 on the over this year, and while Feltner has gotten better for the Rockies as of late, there are still some poor outings mixed in. The Rockies have a bullpen ranked outside the top 20, and Arizona has gone 6-3 in their last 9 on the over despite their recent slip. My total pick is over 11.5 runs. Chicago White Sox versus Los Angeles Angels. Chicago hasn't been an easy back this season, but they are arguably playing the best they have, and their September bats are hitting well above their season average. On top of that, Canning has been very vulnerable this month, and he's allowed home runs at a high rate all season long. This high home run rate should only be a tailwind for the White Sox as they look to keep on winning. My team pick is Chicago moneyline. While Martin has thrown well this season, the Angels continue to drive runners home at one of the strongest rates in baseball, and the White Sox bullpen has certainly been vulnerable when hitters are in position to score. Meanwhile, the White Sox have been hitting much stronger this month and are also hitting stronger on the road. They should be able to exploit Canning early and often. Expect runs here. My total pick is over 8 runs. Houston Astros versus San Diego Padres. San Diego's top priority remains securing their postseason spot. They hold the top NL wildcard position, 1.5 games ahead of the D-backs, 83-66, and 3.5 games ahead of the Mets and Braves, both of whom sit tied for the final wildcard spot at 81-68. Still, with an opportunity to leapfrog the NL Central leading Brewers and claim a coveted first-round bye, the Padres have not lost sight of the division crown. My team pick is San Diego Padres minus 115 runs. Houston's season-long over-under record of 61-83-5 underscores their consistent tendency to play in lower-scoring games, with just 42.4% of their games going over the total. Their struggles to hit the over are magnified on the road, where they hold a stark 28-45-2 over-under record. Away from the friendly confines of Minute Maid Park, the Astros' offense often stalls, while their pitching steps up, limiting runs and keeping games tight. Adding to that, the Astros are 17-23-3 to the under against National League teams. The starting pitchers, Hunter Brown and Michael King, are also key in making a case for the under. Both have been reliable throughout the season. Brown, with his 3.59 ERA and 168 strikeouts, has proven he can limit damage, especially against tough lineups. He's been steady and efficient, keeping Houston in low-scoring games. On the other side, Michael King, who boasts a 3.06 ERA and 191 strikeouts, has been even better, and he's coming off a stretch of strong performances. Both starters have been instrumental in recent under hits for their respective teams. My total pick is under 7.5 runs. New York Yankees versus Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are playing the best baseball of the season right now. They are hitting .271 in September, which is their best month this year. They are also starting Bryan Woo. He has a home ERA of 1.66 in 49 innings pitched. He has a 2.34 ERA since the All-Star break. Seattle is a perfect 7-0 when Woo starts at home. The Yankees are going to struggle against him in a low-scoring game. New York is also starting Luis Gil. He has a 3.29 ERA on the road as the Yankees are 8-4 when he starts. The Mariners' offense is in good enough form to surprise the Yankees and keep their playoff hopes alive. Ride the hot hand in their building. Take Seattle to cover. My team pick is Seattle Mariners minus 1.5 runs. The Mariners are throwing their best pitcher Bryan Woo. He has been excellent at home this season with an ERA of 1.66 and an ERA of 2.34 since the All-Star break. The Yankees will struggle against this pitcher, who continually throws strikes. The Mariners are also hitting .213 during home games. They won't be able to connect much either. Luis Gil has a 3.29 ERA when pitching for the Yankees on the road. This is a classic game set for a low spring affair. My total pick is under 8.5 runs.